Hi, this is George from George's Insects, and today I'm going to go in depth on indoor Horsefields tortoise care. So other names for the Horsefields tortoise are the Russian tortoise, the Central Asian tortoise, the Afghan tortoise, but they generally come from the Middle East and Central Asia. This is about a fully grown one here. Poppy is about 8 years old, a rescue. And the Latin name is Testudo Horsefieldi. And today I'm going to go in depth on all the care advice you need for keeping your Horsefields tortoise indoors. So we'll start off with enclosure. So for a young tortoise, a 3 foot by 2 foot is probably ideal. For a juvenile, hatchling could a little bit smaller, but about 3 by 2, and then ideally you want ideally a 6 foot by 4 foot enclosure for a fully grown adult. So for a substrate, I have topsoil and a mix of topsoil and sand, which is 75% topsoil, 25% sand. You don't want too much sand in it in your substrate, as it can cause impaction. Same thing, you don't want pure sand, as it can easily cause impaction as well when eating. They like a low humidity, so I would recommend a drier substrate, and don't spray down the enclosure. So next thing is food and water. So for water, I'll start over here. Then this is Poppy's water bowl. I do it as deep as just under her neck, so she can't drown in it, because they aren't like the best swimmers. And for an adult over the age of about 5 years old, you want to bath them in something like this. You want to bath them once a week, and same height of water, lukewarm water, not hot, not cold, warm, to just below their neck. And that should make sure they have sufficient moisture. So for hatchlings, you want to be bathing them every other day, I would recommend. Juveniles then 3 or 4 times a week, and then adults once or twice a week. And obviously that, if the vet advises otherwise, then go by your veterinarian's advice. So in terms of food, here Poppy has just started eating her plate of food. So on this I have, let me move it over a bit so you can actually see the food. In this bowl I have red flowering currant, red flowering currant leaves, romaine lettuce leaves, rose of Sharon leaves and flowers, geranium flower. I have a couple of sycamore maple leaves, and 1 honeysuckle leaf, and I'm trying to think, there's one more thing, and some dandelion leaves. So good things for moisture. If your tortoise needs a bit more moisture, you're going to want put cucumber, and these species, and all Mediterranean species in fact, require very low amounts of fruit, maybe 1 small piece of fruit every week, every other week. So fruits that provide good moisture: watermelon, strawberry, raspberry. But you want like in terms of other things, lettuce provides good moisture, but they don't have many nutrients, vitamins and minerals in them. But the best lettuce out of all the lettuces to feed Horsefields tortoises is romaine lettuce. So there's a good app to check out. It's called the Tortoise Table. There's a website and an app, and you can search any plant or flower or anything of the sort, and it will tell you if to feed it's safe to feed, if it's feed in moderation, feed sparingly, or do not feed. So in general, things you don't want to feed are things that grow in tubes. So potatoes, for example, things that grow in bulbs, such as lilies, tulips, onions, things like that. And yeah, if you use that app, it's a great app to use for finding out what is safe to eat for your tortoise. So, in terms of supplements, you're going to want to you want to feed them For hatchlings, you probably feed daily for these tortoises. You could give them a starve day once or twice a week, but you want to dust them with high quality calcium powder with vitamin D3. That's very important. Calcium powder plus vitamin D3. So examples of brands are you can get this small Exoterra one. Over here, I've got this huge Zoomed Repticalcium with D3. So you've got to make sure that it's calcium with D3 for tortoises. And another way to give them their calcium intake, you can put things called cuttlefish bones in the enclosure. So this is a bag of cuttlefish bones. Poppy's cuttlefish bone is over there. They tend not to chew on them, but you know, it's best to have the choice, the option for them in there. So I'm going to move it over a bit now, back to on her. So next thing we'll go into, oh actually before I move on, with the water, if you live in an area where the tap water is unsafe, you can buy any sort of like, makes tap water safe, things like that. You just add a few drops to the tap water and make it safe for consumption for reptiles. Next we'll go into decoration. So you're going to want minimum two hides. You're going to want preferably a hot hide near the basking area and a cool hide in the cool end of the enclosure. You're going to want like a feeding slate or feeding plate or something similar. There's just a basking stone under there, but that's just basically like a stone underneath the basking lamp that you can stand on. You're going to, as I said, the cuttlefish bone, you're going to want a water bowl, and these are just rocks, and this will help, once she climbs over them, this will help file the nails, but you've got to make sure that the rocks are secure and can't fall on them. So that's decoration. You can add some live plants. I'm planning on adding some live plants, possibly Welsh poppy, sycamore maple, dandelion, geranium, thyme, mint, things like that. So next is temperature. So you're going to want the general temperature to be no lower than 20 degrees. 20 degrees absolute bare minimum. Basking area, you want a really hot basking area, 30, maybe 35 degrees Celsius. But then there's an allowance for a temperature drop at night, because in the night, these tortoises are quite hardy. In the area where they come from, it can drop to below 5 degrees Celsius. But in general, you want just a slight nighttime drop, preferably, you know, not that low. So next is humidity. I went into humidity. So you want a dry substrate that doesn't hold humidity. They don't like being moist, wet, anything like that. After they come out of the bath, you want to dry them thoroughly with a towel. Next is handling. So when handling a tortoise, you're going to want to, so let me demonstrate here. I don't want to disturb both feet, but you're going to want to put one hand there and one hand this side and pick them up tight underneath, because you don't want their legs to be able to scratch you out of the way and drop them. So that's how we're going to handle the Horsefields Tortoise, so you can sit them on your lap. But if you're going to sit them on your lap, I'd recommend having like a tea towel or something over your lap so they don't go to the toilet on you. So next, I'll go into, so we can have a look at this brand. So this is a pet safe disinfectant by Johnson's. You want to disinfect you want to change their water daily, but disinfect the bowl maybe once a week. With the foods plate, I disinfect it daily, but you've got to make sure that you get a brand where it says on it, let me try and focus this, do not spray directly on animals. This product is normally suitable for all surfaces, but what you want to do is make sure that it can be used on feeding bowls and drinkers, as long as it is thoroughly rinsed out. So in terms of breeding, so this here is a female. With breeding, you're obviously going to want a female and male. You're going to want a bigger than a 6x4, I would personally recommend. If you're going to breed, you don't want to keep more than one male in the enclosure. You want to keep like maybe one male and two females for breeding, so it takes the pressure off each of the females and it gives them less stress. But in terms of breeding, you really want to look into it before doing it. I believe this species needs to be hibernated before breeding, I think. So definitely hibernate them but you want to really research the topic before actually going ahead and breeding them. So yeah, in terms of hibernation, I do not hibernate my tortoise. It's not necessary that they hibernate, but it may be beneficial. There are risks and benefits, so you want to weigh every individual's different, and you want to weigh those risks and benefits against each other, and definitely have a chat with a veterinarian about it. So next, with this lamp, this is an Exoterra mercury vapor UVA, UVB and heat lamp. You can get like dual dome ones, which are the same thing, just UVB and UVA and heat separate, but you need UVA, UVB and heat light for your tortoise. Very, very important. UVB and UVA for them to process the calcium, heat for them to get their digestive system, to make sure that their digestive system stays healthy, and they don't get lethargic or anything like that. So I think that's everything I've got to cover, so we'll end the video there. So tortoises make good pets, but the care is more advanced than any invertebrates, things like that, like Indian stick insects. There are easier pets to look after, but it's very rewarding. But you have to make sure that you are going to care for your animal correctly, because they also tend to be quite expensive, in £200–300 maybe for a juvenile. So they tend to be quite expensive as well, and some tortoises do require licenses, like a CITES permit and things like that. So make sure you do research before getting your tortoise. And I want to make sure that this is clear. Please do not think that this video is all the research you need to do. This is literally not even scratching the surface of the research you need to do. Research breeders, make sure you get them from a reputable place. So rant over. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do consider clicking that subscribe button. If you want any more information, any more help, any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, or contact me through my website, email, Instagram, Facebook. We're on George's Insects on all those, and the website is www.georgesinsects.com, where you can find all the different places to contact me. So, thank you all for watching.